Greetings everyone, this is Mr. Mull, and today I'm doing a podcast on part D of my nomenclature rules series. This is going to be turning a formula into a name for molecular or covalent compounds. So let's go ahead and get started. When we're dealing with molecular compounds, we're talking about compounds with no metals, only nonmetals present, and they're not going to start with the letter H. They're not going to have hydrogen as the first listed element. If it meets these criteria, it is a molecular compound, and we are going to name it as such. So the rules are as follows. When I'm trying to name this compound, usually there's going to be two elements, and the subscripts, or the numbers underneath those elements, are going to become our prefixes. They're going to become the prefix that we're going to insert in front of that element. Stipulation is that you will not use the prefix mono on the first element, but you can use it on the second. The second step is we're going to take the ending of the ending of the last element, and we're going to change it to IDE, and it's going to only be for the second ending, second element. We're not going to mess with the first element's name. So really simply, we're going to look at this first compound, N2O2. That 2 tells me that there are two of whatever's directly before it. That means there's two N's and two O's. So I use those subscripts, which are going to become my prefixes. 2 on the first page of my nomenclature reference rule sheet stands for di. So di is going to be the prefix. And we're talking about nitrogen, dinitrogen. There's two nitrogens. So dinitrogen is the first part. The second thing we need to do is we need to name the second element involved, and we're going to use our prefixes also, but we're going to change the ending to IDE. So there are two oxygens, so I'm going to use that same prefix di again, but we're talking about oxygen, diox, but we need to change the ending to IDE. So we're going to throw out the egen part and just call it dioxide. Dinitrogen, dioxide. And we only need to change the ending for the second element. There we go. I'm going to do one more for you, PCl5. We have two elements for these types usually. We're going to name the first one. If there's nothing underneath of it, there's no subscript, you can always assume a 1. So there's a phosphorus, and you'd be tempted to say, well, I have 1, I'm going to use mono. Brings us back here. We don't need mono on the first element. It's redundant. Okay, if I just write phosphorus, it means there's only 1. So phosphorus, and then there's no subscript there, so we just leave it as phosphorus. We look at the second element, and there's 5 Cls. So 5, I look it up on my chart, stands for penta. Penta means 5, so penta. And then we're going to look at Cl, and we're going to call this is chlorine, but we need to change the ending for the second element only to CHL, chloride, pentachloride. Sometimes you will see in some textbooks, if you have a double vowel, that they will actually drop a vowel. For example, if I see pentaoxide, you may actually see this written as pentoxide. Sometimes, if there's double vowels, they will sometimes throw out one of them. But pentaoxide works perfectly fine for me. So phosphorus pentachloride is this one here. This is how you change this formula to the name for molecular compounds, and I hope that this was helpful.